All right, season 3, episode 5 of the Harold Pats podcast. Glad you could join us. Oren Glickman alongside Akiva Poppers and, of course, Coach. The Macs are going dancing, victorious over Farmingdale State in an epic thriller yesterday down in Farmingdale. Coach, that was a primetime game for you, 8 o'clock Israel time.
Yeah, it sure
Tell
was.
us what was going through your mind as you were watching that game unfold.
Be cool if we guarded somebody. That was really what was going through my mind. Well, to be honest with you, I thought our execution in the first half, in particular, especially early on, was phenomenal. And I think on the game we only have like 8 turnovers, right? Something like that, Pop. So we had great execution. We were getting what we wanted at the rim, and then we kind of got stupid. Like Effie takes a really bad three, 15 on a shot clock. Ball never touches the post. We get like one reversal on it. I don't even know if we got a reversal. Maybe we did. Just a bad shot. It was just, we're killing them at the rim up two. Why are we doing that? And then Max takes a bad shot. Really selfish bad shot. Like 12 seconds of all dribble shoot. And then I think Zevi pulls a three that was ill-advised on a trail or on a break, which was turned out to be he waited till everybody got back down the floor. Whatever it was just we started to play dumb basketball, and then there were certain adjustments that were made that, in particular on the defensive end, probably 12 minutes. Don't know for sure. You'd have to watch the film on it. But what we were doing on the defensive end, I mean, they ended up scoring 8 points in the last 9 minutes and 6 seconds, 3 points in the last 6 minutes. So we made an adjustment that they never picked up on or never adjusted to on both ends of the floor. One that we had prepared for and one that we made in game. And, everybody comments on Zevi, but isn't it interesting that we always have players who do stuff like this? Brian, Simcha, because what we run allows that to happen. I'm not saying other teams don't run things that allow that to happen, but there usually becomes I'm not sure how to say this, not hierarchy, but it's an offense that allows your best players to do what they do best. So pass it or shoot it, and we catch a lot of grief for it. It's interesting, most of those guys aren't saying anything today. So it was cool to get personnel who wasn't smarter than the coaching staff. In the past, we've had smarter than the coaching staff personnel. We've had parents, lawyers, doctors, accountants. I'm not picking anybody out, professionals in whatever industry, and they all have opinions on what we should be doing. But interestingly enough, I've never walked into that same dentist's office and go, I think you're using the wrong drill in that dude's tooth. Like, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Just because you played the game doesn't mean you know what you're talking about either. Like, I've said this before. I mean, I've been to the dentist. You don't want me, well, maybe you don't want me drilling your teeth. Like, just because you played doesn't mean you know what you're talking about. So, everybody got an opinion on it. I guess that's the great thing about sports. Imagine if you could do the same thing about medicine or accounting or investing. I mean, I suppose you can, but there is hardcore evidence of X. But all those guys who were giving us all that grief, they're very silent today. And it's no coincidence that we get guys who consistently lead our conference in scoring because we run stuff that allows that to happen. And we have a culture, for the most part, because of what we run, that allows that to happen. So while everybody said, well, you guys don't do this and don't do that and don't do this, well, who cares? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we're playing. And we're playing Friday. And they can either watch us or continue to complain about us.
Right.
But when you have the right attitude, and look, I don't think this team's always been the right attitude. I mean, we went through a lot of growth here. I like where they're at now. I like where they've been at the last couple of weeks. I don't believe we ever should have lost to Sarah Lawrence ever. Like we lose 2 games at the buzzer basically because we're stupid. You know, fouling. I mean, we call it what it is. We're stupid. You know, fouling them, you know, late in the clock. It's just dumb stuff. But, you know, the only thing you want to do every single year is play the very last day your league's playing. And we did that again. So it's to be able to keep Farmingdale from winning 3 in a row. Nothing better. And I think we're 4 out of 8 now or something like that. So if you come to YU as a player, odds are you are going to win at least 1 championship in your league before you graduate, just by simple math. Now, there's some guys who came here who didn't for whatever reason, and that's okay. But give me some of that. We're playing on Friday. And, you know, it basically boiled down to defense in the last 10 minutes of the game. And Zevi just being Zevi. And there's a lot of great coaching stuff here. Like, I can't even tell you how many coaches are taking that timeout. We're down a point after the Tyuson's free throw. 16, 18, right? What, how many seconds, Pop?
23.
23 seconds. I can't
Here's
tell
my
how many
play, let me draw it up, you know.
Yeah, I can't tell how many coaches are taking that. And if I'm Farmingdale, I take that timeout right there. As soon as he makes it, like we did when
For
Zevi
the
scored.
inbound.
Huh? Yeah. Like as soon as that ball, like when he's on a free throw line, I tell the referee, if this goes in, I want a timeout.
To set up your defense.
Of course. So that what Zevi Salmon did to them yesterday doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
I always want to be set up. The last thing I want is a guy like Zevi, a wild card, just going down there and doing what he just did.
But
like I always take that time out. I learned that lesson when I was a young coach, 23. I was 23.
right. But in regards to Farmingdale, that wasn't necessarily bad defense. That was just better offense.
What was Zevi doing with Zevi?
Just Zevi being Zevi.
I think so, yeah. And part of the problem is, based on what they were doing, they let him get off. And it wasn't a classic Zevi get off. It was just like Zevi was in a dangerous mode. He wasn't, you know, where Zevi goes, knocks 5, 6 in a row. He threw an air ball in there. He did it, you know. It wasn't classic Zevi getting off, but it was good enough Zevi getting off.
Yeah.
And we say Pot, they had 29 points in the second half, and Zevi had 28.
Exactly, yeah.
And then the last 10, they had 9 points, 10 points. He's got 20 or something. You know what I mean? Like, but guys are just, you know, dance with who brung you. You know what I mean? If he's carrying you, just go. If Orr's carrying you, just go. Like Orr's had a day at 34. He was carrying us. We just went. That's what this kind of, our offense kind of breeds that. That's why we've had Gabe with spectacular days, and Simcha and Ryan and Zevi and Orr and Max. It just kind of allows that.
Yeah.
And to be honest, we've talked about this on this podcast. This is the year we circled right here, junior year for this class.
Right.
And now they actually have a chance to do something. And I think, believe it or not, I think they will, to do something that no other class has ever done, and that is win back-to-back championship. and go to back-to-back NCAA tournaments. And I would think next year will be a much different scenario, in my opinion, but you're gonna have to guard at that point.
Yeah.
You know, this all boiled down to stops. I got a text from the great Lenny Solomon, who said to me, you watching this game? I'm kind of playing jacks right now. Don't interrupt me. Of course I'm watching the game. And he goes, it's going to take a miracle. It's not going to take a miracle. It's going to take stops. Just get stops. And here's the crazy thing about it. When you're coaching a game like that and you're down 14-15 at the half, in your head, you're like, we got to get it to 10 at 10 because there are no 15-point shots. So let's just cut this thing in half a little bit. If we could get it to 10 at 10, we got a chance to win because we're looking to go 5 at 5. And here we go. Zebi goes to the line, 5:06 to go. I marked it in my head. We're down 7. He's shooting 2. He misses the first one. So there goes your 5 at 5. So now you're 6 at 5, and you want to get 3 at 3 because now I only have to shave off 3 points in the next 2 minutes. And I can do that with a couple stops. And at 74, 70, 77, 71, they foul with like 3 minutes to go, and he bangs all 3 free throws. And now you're 3 at 3, and the game is winnable. And I will say this, if we end up not winning that game yesterday, that FE putback would have gone down in YU history. Like the Zebi shot will go down in the history of the program.
Yeah.
The FE miss on the putback before the Tyus foul, like would have made it 77, 76. Man, I forgot.
Yeah, it would have made it 77, 76 at like 120 to go instead of what
Right.
it was 77.
And FE missed the left side of the rim. It was a great rebound, missed the shot, and couldn't believe it. You know, he was doing this whole. But what Zebi did yesterday reminded me of another guy. Anybody think of that championship scenario?
Yeah. Are you thinking about the Purchase Championship?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Justin Hode
Mm-hmm.
just going off.
Yeah.
Justin was otherworldly. Zebi really wasn't like that. Zebi, you know, you just live with some of the things he does. That's what you have to do.
Right.
Well, what happened was Zebi kind of guarded in the last 10 minutes. And when
Yeah, he
Zebi
drew that big charge at one point.
Yeah, well, you know, or the charge came to him. I mean, I don't know if he drew it or he just kind of fell into it, whatever it was. I mean, it was a charge.
It was definitely the right call.
I don't know if it was purpose or accidental, but whatever it was the right call. But Zebi started to defend, and when Zebi defended, we were just better. Period.
Yeah.
I thought Effie did an exceptional job. We wanted his size and athleticism on certain guys. I thought Orr was good. I thought Dotan was really good when he was on the floor. Not so much early, but very much late. And so it's funny, it's the only lead we had in the entire second half was at the end of the game. Sometimes you get to that point and then you just can't get over the hump. That's what the FE miss seemed like. You know, like you get to that point and then you just can't finish it. And Zebi kind of like, I'm gonna finish it now.
Well, also, coach, next possession, stop.
Yes.
It's like how many stops?
We're at 77, 74 for like 4 or 5 possessions in a row.
Yeah.
I call the FEs an extra possession. So you're at least 4 FE misses, that's 5. And you're at 77, 74. And you're just kind of pulling teeth at that point. You just got to get one more stop. And that if this is the maturation of this group, then it came at the perfect time. I think it was a combination of us doing something they were not prepared for us to do and us being better at what we were supposed to do. So that's that.
Yeah.
Good for them. And look, it's what we talked about.
Maturation.
Yeah, maturation, but we talked about earlier, a couple earlier podcasts, that it didn't matter what the preseason was. You just got to win your league.
Right.
And here we are.
Now everybody's 0-0.
Right. And it's 2 months later and you won your league and no one could take that away from you for the rest of your life. You're the champ.
Right.
You know, I remember I stole it from Bill Parcells, but we had played in a game in high school where we were never supposed to win and everybody had gone off to college that we were playing to play. And we ended up winning the game and I went in the locker room and all I said was, for the rest of your life, never let them tell you that you can't, because you just did. That's a life lesson. And we got that. Because I'm not sure how many people thought we were winning yesterday on the road. Farmingdale coming off a 40-pointer, us struggling to beat Sarah Lawrence. And I mean, maybe Farmingdale needed some close games in the last month and a half. We happen to have those because of whether it's our inefficiency on one end or both ends. We had close games all the time. So being in another close game was like, yeah, whatever, let's go. And if you told me that we either had the ball up one and needed, or had the ball down one and needed to get a bucket, or had the ball up one, needed to get a stop, which would you prefer with this team at this time? I kind of agree with my son Ellie that says, like, I'd rather be winning and try to get that stop, but it's a precarious spot with a team that wasn't really good at getting stops till the last week. You know, late in games. So they should be proud of themselves. I'm proud of them. It's a phenomenal, outstanding effort by a much maligned group who, you know, overcame doubters everywhere. I mean, you know, I don't think you could turn around on Friday and get your doors blown off. Okay. Look, my personal opinion is always about the NCAA. I think the NCAA sucks. Okay. I hate everything about them. But, you know, it's just, I don't mind playing this team because it makes your work so much less. You know, we already have a scouting report on Tufts, so we can move on to the other two teams we got to play. We're planning on playing on Saturday night. So whether it's Redlands or St. Joe's, Maine, or something pop.
That's right.
So that whichever one of those two, we already have most of Tufts in the back. We just have to do other things to that because there were things we just have to. We pretty much have that. No, it's not. We'll put it to bed probably by Tuesday night. What's today? Today's Sunday or Monday? Today's Monday, right?
Monday.
It's Monday where we are, and it's Monday where you are.
Yeah, I would say Tufts probably be in bed by Wednesday. We'll get it done. And by the time we hit the road for the trip, everybody will have a scouting report. I would think, and you know, Redlands done by Thursday and St. Joe done by Thursday. So that's what you have to do in this scenario. You know, you have a very condensed time and it's very intense. It's like constant film. I happen to be not going into Tel Aviv tomorrow, so I'm going to spend my entire day watching film to try to help my child, who's really good at his job. So he just wants to know if he's right, but he's pretty much right.
I think a lot of people are curious to know what your plan is going to be with the game being on Shabbos for you. Is there any possible way of you watching it on recording, or it's impossible?
I mean, are you asking me is going to take priority over Shabbat?
Oh, I think we know the Shabbat always comes first.
Right.
I think
Like,
he's saying how are you going
watch it after. Watch it
Yeah.
after.
Is there a possible way to watch it after without knowing the score?
Sure. I mean, I think so. I think so. I mean, if you
Depends
leave,
who broadcasts it, no?
what?
Depends how it's broadcast.
I mean, if it goes on Max Live, you mean?
Yeah, versus NCAA.
Right. You could just search
I
Max
mean, if
Live.
it goes on Max Live, you just go to YouTube.
Right.
Yeah, that's your hope. That's your
Yeah, that would be my hope. Yeah.
Your hope pins on Poppers.
well, it doesn't pin on me, it pins on
I mean, there is no, I don't think there's, I mean, the only scarier thing I can think of than your hope pins on Poppers is Russia just launched a nuclear weapon at us. That's like the only scarier thing I can think of than your hope is. It's like Ronald Reagan used to say, the three scariest words, or whatever, the five scariest words in the English language are
9 scariest.
Your government is here for you.
I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
So that's not a common thing, by the way, right, Coach? Drawing a team that you already had the opportunity to face off in the regular
It's
season.
almost never.
Right.
Like when I was at Gaucho, we got Catholic in the Sweet 16. I think one year we got Salisbury in around the 34, 32. I don't know if we had 64 teams back then.
Never happens.
Might have 48.
It really, I mean, I can't speak obviously, Coach, to your experience, but I can at least say in recent times it has only happened when forced geographically.
Yeah, this is kind of a head scratcher, but I just think it's the NCAA committee being lazy. They're just lazy. New York's close to Boston, so
Ryan Scott, his suggestion was that maybe there's no other facilities that could both host a 1:00 game and be up in the air for either like a 4:00 or a 9:00 game on Saturday night.
yeah, that's a good load of crap right there. That's a load of crap. Like I get what Ryan's trying to say, but you put in the host. Like that's what comes with the territory. You might get the Jews. You might get them. If you get them, you got to play them at 1:00, and then you got to have a game later in the day, and then you got to get a game late tomorrow night. If they win, you got to play Saturday night. These damn Jews. If only they weren't any good. And then my response to anybody complaining about our draw is kind of like, would you rather be Farmingdale today? We had to watch them last year. Like, we know what that's like. You know what I mean? So
they won in the first round last year, right?
Yeah, they did. They were good last year. But I don't think last year's team, as we talked about last year, was ready to compete. And you could even argue that for most of the year, they weren't ready to compete this year.
Right. And even if the first round game doesn't go well, it's still going to be positivity for the future.
Your goal is to go to the NCAA tournament.
I don't think that's, I mean, I don't know. I was going to say, I don't think Coach is going to like that perspective.
No, but Coach, you said earlier.
I don't necessarily like the perspective, but now I'm in Israel. I can't watch it anyway, so I like it.
No, because you said earlier that for next year, it's going to make them even stronger, in terms of,
Yeah, I think now you have a target on your back. You're the team that just won.
Right. You're the alpha next year.
But no, once we're going, let's win the thing. Who cares? I'm kind of like, it seems to me the NCAA is like, let's just get Yeshiva out of the way so we could have Tufts play Redlands. And I'm kind of like, well, let's just screw the NCAA up pretty good here and ruin their tournament and get rid of, That would be my perspective on it. And I'm pretty confident I know what Ellie's perspective is. You don't really have a choice. This is who you got. Screw the NCAA. Let's give them a crap burger. If you remember, They didn't believe in us a couple years back, and we scored 102.
We were on the 3 in the pod
That's
as
right.
27-1, right? We
Which
wore
was a joke, and we
we wore
proved it
black
was
jerseys.
a joke by dropping 102 2 nights in a row. Well, Hopkins didn't play. You know why? Because they didn't survive the team we had to play. So don't even give me that. There's 102. So you made a mistake. They seem to always make these mistakes with Yeshiva, but that's okay. We're still coming. We'll be there. Screw them. I'm sad. It's the first one I'm not going to be at. See, I even finished all my sentences in Israel with preposition, not just Baltimore.
Right.
But it's the first one. I'm not. One of them, I think when we were at Stockton, it was me and all the Macs Live guys having lunch together or something like that.
Well, it wasn't all the Macs Live guys. It was 6 of them. I was
Yeah,
one.
hearing about the exploits of the great chess pro Akiva Poppers.
Yes.
That was our lunch discussion. That lasted about maybe 90 seconds. I couldn't stomach it anymore. As if I wanted to know what happened in the semifinal against Poindexter or somebody. You know what I mean? Chess champ Poppers. So anyway, look, we talked about this. We thought they turned a corner. Seemingly did. Or got his game back together, which makes this game a little more unique because he played all of 2 minutes last time.
Right. He had 2 turnovers, I think, in those 2 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, but you could just tell from his body language he wasn't right. And different game now. You know, let's see what happens. The bottom line is we're playing Friday, and that was our entire goal, was to play Friday the first week of March. So I don't care who you put in front of us. We got to play him. Let's play him. And hopefully screw the NCAA over in the process.
There are a lot of people saying that Zevi's shot was maybe the biggest shot in program history. What are your thoughts? What's your response to that?
Is that the biggest shot in program history? I mean, when it happened, is that the biggest shot in program history? Well, look, program history is basically 11 years since nothing really was accomplished before that. With all due respect, or no respect, but with all due respect, that you know, the memorable stuff, you know, before Elliott got there was personal accolades. This is team-centered stuff. Biggest shot in the last 10 years. You'd have to give me a minute on that. It's one of them.
I think,
I'm not sure.
yeah, I think a lot of people were saying that, people remember the Ryan Gabe alley-oop, but not that it was necessarily a crucial point in a game.
I mean, what was that? What was that?
That was 46-22.
Yeah, like what was it? Like that's.
Was there something in that farming?
Dude. Yeah, Eitan Halper's layup. We were going home. We were going home. We were going home.
Gabe's 3, no?
What?
Gabe hit a 3 to tie it at 60. Well, you can make. I mean, that game.
No, I think Eitan Halper's layup was a game changer.
Yeah.
We weren't playing very well. We were on our way home, and at 27-2 or whatever, 26, whatever it would have been. Yeah, that was huge. That's probably. I mean, you could argue because of circumstance that was a bigger shot. Yeah. Just because we were a top 10 program, even if they didn't recognize us that way. And
at the end, they did.
Yeah, it's a great question. Where did we finish that year, Bob?
8.
8. Uh, um,
And also, I mean, that 8 was what resulted in us being 1.
yeah,
Meaning, if
yeah,
that
yeah,
didn't end well, then we never are number 1 at any point.
yeah. But should that team have continued, it would have been number 1,
Yeah,
in my opinion. So, um,
that's got
it may be, yeah, it may
That was,
be just because of circumstance.
yeah.
But Justin Hogue, all 6 of those may have been bigger.
Right, because it was the first Skyline title in program history. Justin Hote's
With Justin, yeah. It's a great question.
Maybe I think a way you could frame it, so the answer is yes, is by adding time and score.
Yeah, I mean, time to score is but that's why 8 tons was such a big shot too. Because we were barely hanging on, and 8 ton kind of bailed us out. Yeah, you could, you know what? Maybe there's a 3 at the end of the half against Mount St. Mary when we were getting our doors blown off.
In
And
the
so
quarter.
I think maybe Sim or Gabe hits a 3. Yeah, in
2018.
in the quarterfinal, yeah. Yeah, it could have been. Yeah, big shot. Big shot. Yeah, I would say time to score situation, because Gabe's 3 in the corner from Ryan. That Sarah Lawrence is a huge shot, keeps the streak alive, keeps us in first place. The whole,
That was the first game in the top 25 also.
and it may have been, no, we probably still would have played at home, but it's a big shot, huge shot. So that's another one. Yeah, the alley-oop is silly. That's nonsense.
Yeah.
I don't even know why that's even in the top 15. Like, it's,
I guess just for entertainment purposes.
what?
I guess just for entertainment purposes.
Well, no, that's just Oren being Oren.
Yeah, I'm saying for entertainment purposes, I'll take Simcha's, 4 threes against Westbury. Like, I think it was Westbury, or maybe
Purchase.
it was, or whatever it was. Just boom, 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 boom. Last one he's running down a court or something. So they're playing at. No, that would be it. Yeah, I think so. When you think about it, but Justin Hose we were struggling, and Justin kind of gave us opportunity to stay in the game. So yeah, maybe. I mean,
So-
we did recruit him to play in our program and make shots.
Right. It really laid the foundation for more talent to come our way after that game.
Well, I do think so. I do think that.
Yeah. It opened the door to Ryan and others.
It sure did.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to go play for the winner.
Yeah.
And we were the defending champ. And now Ryan's like, yeah, I'll come. Let's win and play.
Yeah.
So
if you had to put yourself in Tufts' shoes, how do you think they're approaching the game? How do you think they see us how do you think they're looking at us as their first round?
Honestly, they're looking and seeing, what the Redlands does.
You think they're already looking ahead to the second game?
No, I think as players, you always do that.
Right.
Just because, well, we beat them. That wasn't even a struggle. They beat us up pretty good too. Like, I know it was 8, but down 16.
We made it more respectable towards the end.
Down 16 at the half. It was like they just spanked us pretty good. I don't think we gave them a good run. I think they kind of felt ripped off in a sense. Like, came all the way to New York for this. Couldn't give us a better game. And I think it. I mean, they're feeling pretty good. They're playing at home. They get it out of the way Friday morning, Friday
And there,
afternoon.
Coach, if I could add to see
Yeah.
if this gives more of your thought on the issue. They lost earlier in the year. They lost to Trinity by like 45 points. In last year's Sweet 16, they lost to Trinity by like 20 points. And in the semifinals of the NESCAC, which was their last game, they lost by, I think, 23 to Trinity. So that's the game that they're coming off of. Curious if that adds any further perspective.
It really doesn't. I mean, the answer to your question will come on Friday at 4 o'clock. You know what I mean? Like, I remember we're playing Old Westbury with Jamal Stanley, and they were just remember him, Oren? You were calling his games. He
Yeah.
was really
He was a fun player to call.
Yeah, he was a handful. And I remember we were just getting into our offensive stuff, and it was with Mike Berg and Jordan Hode and
This was Donnie's freshman year.
Donnie's freshman year, and we were just starting to kind of Judah Cone. We were just starting to feel like, okay, we're starting to get it. But I remember we went over there. There was no stream at the time, and they beat us up, even though they shouldn't have. It ended up being relatively close, and we kept it close. Then we lost by like 30.
Was this the
I don't know if
semifinal game?
That might have been the semifinal.
I broadcasted.
Yeah, we got spanked.
Yeah.
And then next time we played them, I think we made some mistakes. We lost maybe by 9. And then they came to our place. They were in first place. Maybe they had 1 loss, the Sage, maybe. And we tore them up. You called the game, I believe.
I did. I was on the call. Yeah.
We tore them up. They couldn't even compete, and they never recovered from that game. They lost I think they lost to Sage in the playoffs in like the first or second round and couldn't get an invite. So they never recovered from losing to Yeshiva, and the program, I'd argue, has never recovered since then. So that's why I say you'll find out Friday at 2, because Friday at 4, because that's what tends to happen. And you find out how tough your team is. Do you overcome it, or do you stay in the malaise, So I hope they're still in the malaise, but I like to think they're tough enough to overcome it.
Well, with the exception of Coach, I'll be watching very closely that Friday, 1:15. Mark it on your calendars.
Thank you, Warren. Here I didn't think I could feel any worse about myself.
You're doing the right thing. All right. You're in the holy land at the end of the day. So we're the jealous ones.
Did you have any consideration of flying in?
I told that to Elliot last night, actually. I said, we were moving. One of the things I said to him is that the only thing I really feel bad about is that I'll be missing our NCAA tournament appearance.
Right.
And he told me last night he will never forgive me. So I appreciated that.
Well, if you need a spot in the hotel or whatever, I will be happy.
Help me out, Pop.
As long as you talk with me about
that
chess.
offer is extended to Coach, but not me, for the record, folks.
As long as I talk to you, what, Pop?
As long as you talk about chess at lunch.
Yeah, I think I'll stay in Israel. That's like, Pop. That's like a bridge too far, man.
Right.
Like, don't make me do that. I was on my way to buy a ticket, and Popper's like, you have to spend lunch with me talking about chess. No, that's it. I can't go there, Pop. I just can't get myself to go there.
So obviously it's never a Harold Katz podcast without addressing some type of controversy. There's been a lot of rumblings going on in the Yeshiva League landscape, your favorite league in the world, about the All-Star game, omissions.
What?
The Yeshiva League Pass All-Star game. There have been a lot of
Yeshiva League should have passed on the All-Star game.
There have been a lot of negative reactions to omissions with kids.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really? No.
In fact, it got to a real bad point that someone sent a very nasty voice note to the organization running the tournament. So what's your reaction on this? Does something like this need to stop for the future?
Well, the All-Star game needs to stop for the future. If you want to do a real All-Star game, have these All-Stars go play the All-Stars of the Catholic League. That'll knock them down a few pegs, and then you won't have this discussion anymore. I think it's the dumbest thing. It's a JV All-Star game too, right?
It's both levels.
I can't. It's too stupid for words. Like, what are we doing? Yeah, Pop, it's too stupid. You're a money grubbing Jew. That's what you are, man.
Not him.
Not to be redundant. But you're what are we doing here? Like, what are we doing? And then parents are gonna complain that their kid's not playing. He wanted a jersey and a shirt. Dude, stop. So just so you could go to Kiddush during the Torah and talk about how great your son was in the All-Star game.
You could be in the shul announcements after davening.
Yeah. It's just so.
Shlomi won the JV All-Star game.
Yeah, it's silly. Shlomi had 3 points in the
MVP.
It's silly. It's so silly, and parents get worked up over it. Administrators get worked up over it, and I'm like, dude, have some integrity and tell the parents it's a child rearing moment. Be an adult instead of the same child that your children are complaining about. My son didn't make the All-Star team, and dude, shut up. Shut up.
So basically, you're saying that our community needs to reevaluate.
Grow up.
Well, I was going to say reevaluate its moral compass and
without a question. Like, what's important to you? Is this the message you want to teach your kid? If he didn't make the All-Star team if he didn't make the JV basketball All-Star team, are you going to complain enough to make a big deal about a JV All-Star basketball game? Think about this for a second. My head hurts now, Oren, because of this nonsense. This is so dumb. All y'all should be embarrassed, including you, Poppers. All y'all should be embarrassed that this is even a discussion. And like these kids are sending voice notes. I mean, not only parents, but administrators suck. Yeah. Can you hear me? Oren?
Yeah, you're back.
Yep.
I was always here. Wasn't I, Pop?
Oh, maybe I was gone.
Yeah, it's you, Oren.
Yeah.
Administrators suck too. If you're a rabbi of the school and you entertain this nonsense, you need to reevaluate what you're doing. You just turn to the parent and say, hey, it wasn't his fault. It wasn't the fault of anybody. But the people voted. That's what they did. If you want to partake in this stupidity, is what you get. I don't care how much money you have. It's stupid. What are you teaching your children? My son ended up playing college basketball, okay? So he's good enough to play college basketball. Good enough to be captain of a team in college basketball. And when he was a junior in high school, his coach missed the league meeting for the All-Star nominations, and I felt bad for my son, but my son didn't really care. And my wife and I just like, if this is the worst thing to happen to you, you're gonna have a great life. And the next year, of course, he was a league All-Star. Not for an All-Star game, they all league, 5 guys or 6 guys, whatever, right? Played in 2 championship games in high school, you know what I mean? Like that's the important stuff. If you in the level of importance, All-Star game appearances are, silly. But the teachable moment to your child is your coach just made a mistake. It's okay. I mean, the other parent whose kid was involved in this was not as gracious, but that's fine. That's not what we were teaching our child. We were teaching our child that you have bigger things ahead of you. So don't worry about that. This is a blip on the radar screen of your career. And it turned out to be a blip on the radar screen of his career. You think he would trade that for an NCAA tournament appearance?
Right.
And of course you say, well, he could get both. He can, but this kid complaining that he didn't make the JV All-Star team can't. Because that will be the highlight of his career. You know what I mean? Like these All-Star teams by Yeshiva League Pass will be the highlight of their career for most of these kids.
I guess YLP is not getting a donation from Harold Katz anytime soon.
Not anytime soon, not as long as you do these things now. Just silly poppers.
It's
Silly.
not him. All right. On that note, YU Tufts Friday 1:15. Mark it on your calendars.
Looking forward to it.
Thanks to Coach as always for his articulate analysis on all things YU related and also addressing controversy. It's not an episode without that.
I just think y'all need to grow up. That's it. Go ahead, Oren. Close out.
We'll be back for another episode. Hopefully recapping some NCAA tournament wins.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Everyone have a great rest of your week, and let's go, Macs.
Whoa, wait. Are we
Wait,
going to acknowledge my Super Bowl pick?
Oh, yeah. Oh, Coach.
Y'all just press me and all that.
Okay, yes.
Hey, look. Hey,
okay,
hold on.
Okay, we know.
Hold on. Wait. What was the reason I gave you why I thought Kansas City was going to lose?
Because they won all the close games, and the luck's going to run out.
And that's what happened with Farmingdale.
The way they won.
That's the opposite order.
The opposite. Yeah, I'm sorry.
The way they won those games, it was a mistake from the other squad.
Right.
You have to win games like that. The other team lost them for the most part. Texans missed kick. I can't go through all of them, but there's like 4 or 5 of them where you're just like, dude, Denver, you just escaped again and you keep escaping. At some point, Big Bad Wolf gonna punch you in the mouth. And I thought, like I told you, the Rams were, 2 plays away from beating the team that just drills its next 2 opponents and wins the Super Bowl. So you may have thought I was hedging my bet. Whatever. I gave you a sound, logical argument why I picked them, and you're trying to blow it over like it wasn't important. After you pressed me when I didn't want to do it.
As usual, Coach takes another victory lap.
Thank you. I take a bow.
I did not. Did I challenge you on your pick, though?
No, you just said I was trying to hedge my bet, and I zeroed in on the Eagles.
No, you were all in on your pick.
I know we spent like 5 to 8 minutes discussing it, and then we don't even get to recap it.
Okay, there's no wiggle room here. Absolutely 100% the right call.
That's what's up. How you like me now?
You're him, right, Coach? You're him.
I am him. Whoever that is. Me and Moses Schmecky.
We're still live.
We are him. What's that? We're still live. Me and you, Moses, we are hims. What's up?
Now I think it's a perfect time to close. Thanks as always for tuning in. Be sure to tune in on Friday for YU. Go Macs, go.
Go Macs.